Hey everybody! Today we're going to be looking at creating a YouTube channel art image using Canva. So if you don't have Canva already, I'll leave a link in the description to where you can sign up for an account. And if you do have Canva, from the home page, or any page that you're on actually, you can head on up to templates and go down to YouTube channel art, which is under the social media section. And if for some reason you don't see it here, you can also search for it up in the search bar. But I'm going to go ahead and go Templates, YouTube Channel Art. And from there, we'll be brought to the main templates page where you'll see there are hundreds of templates so far. And of course, that library is always growing. You can also create a blank YouTube channel art image here. But for YouTube channel art, the sizing and placement of the text is very, very key. So even if you don't like any of these templates, I would still start with one and then build off of it, because you need to make sure that everything that you put on the YouTube channel art is viewable no matter what device you're on. So just to give you an idea, the YouTube channel art, although it's a very large image, only a sliver of it is viewable depending on which device you're on. So this is showing, a larger computer monitor, laptop, and phone. However, if you view on a TV, it's going to show almost the entire image, so the top, the bottom, the whole bit. So we need to keep that in mind when designing the YouTube channel art. So I'm going to go back to Canva and we can have a look through the templates here. And as you'll notice, all of the main text is kind of in the same spot in that little sliver that we looked at. So have a look through and see if there's any that you like. So this one looks nice here. So to use it right away, you simply click on it, or to view a little more information about it, click on the three dots and click on Preview this template. It will give you an idea as to which colors are currently being used in it, along with the fonts being used. So if you do like it, go ahead and click on Use this template. And these are all highly customizable. You can change the font, positioning, which obviously be careful with channel art, but we can change things to our liking. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change it so that it displays your channel name. And then next we can change this little bit of text as well. And because this is left aligned, we're going to move this over as well so that it lines up with the other words. You can also change the color if you'd like. So click on the text and head on up to the text color. And then you can play around with different colors. So let's say you wanted that to be white. You could then change this little bit of white paint or whatever it is as well. So click on that and then click on the color. And so as part of the template, this is actually two pieces or two images merged into one. So we're going to ungroup it so that we can change this one from white to green as well. And then it'll all just look like one big bit of paint. And of course, we need this text to stand out a bit. And if you'd like, you can also change the font. So we clicked on the text and then clicked on the font up here, and then you can play with different font families. You can also make it bold and then change the color. And to change the size, you can either increase it up here, or if it's easier, you can drag from one of the corners. It's a bit faster this way, I find. And then to reposition it, click on it and use your arrow keys to slightly move it to wherever you want it to go. You can also change the color here, but I do think that that looks nice. Last but not least, we will change the image in the background. So if you've got a particular image in mind that you have on your computer, you can go ahead to the Uploads tab and upload it from there. But Canva thankfully comes with tons and tons of different stock images. So we can click on the Photos tab and then search. So let's say we put crafts. And then depending on what kind of channel you are running, you can drag and drop a photo over from the stock images over to your channel art. I don't know that that really works. You could also do a bunch of supplies here. Let's try this one. So let's say that you run a channel that makes jewelry. This would be very fitting. Now you'll notice that the white font can be a touch hard to read, but what we can do is click on the font and then hit Effects up at the top, and then add some kind of shadow behind it so that it pops a bit more. So for example, this is without, and then this is with. So it'll just make the text pop a bit more and it'll make it easier to read. So there you have one example of a channel art image that you can create. Just for example purposes, I'll make one more that is quite a bit different in style and subject. So let's go ahead back to templates and have a look through. This one did catch my eye. So if you like any of them over here, and you can also search templates, just go ahead and click on it and it will apply the whole thing over to your kind of working space. Now, this one is a paid image. Can't really see it, but it is watermarked Canva. So if you're trying to make this completely for free, you're going to want to delete this and replace it with something else, which is completely fine. There are more than enough elements in Canva that are free. So head on over to Elements. So again, photos would be stock photos. Elements will be like little cartoony figures, illustrations, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and search. And from here, you'll see there are tons of free ones that you can replace that with. This one looks kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to add it over here onto our workspace. And whenever you hit a solid line like that, that just means that it's in the center of the graphic. So it's vertically centered at the moment. If you brought it right to the middle, you'll hit two hard lines, which would mean you're directly in the middle or the center of the graphic. But of course, we're fine to have it over here. And again, keep in mind that on most devices, we'll only be seeing kind of this center sliver of the graphic. So I'm going to go ahead, move it over a little bit. The rest of this, I'd like to move over a little bit over to the left. So I'm going to drag and make sure that I have everything, and then use my arrow keys to move it over. One nudge, it's going to move really, really slowly. So hold down the Shift key and then use your arrows and it'll move a bit faster, or it'll jump further each time you click on the arrow. Next, we'll want to go ahead and update the text. And then after that, you'll of course want to replace the social media handles with your own. Now, I almost shouldn't have moved this over to the left because now that the name is a bit shorter, it looks a bit off center. But what we can do is drag around the whole thing and make sure that it is a little more in the center there. And what you can do, like let's say you don't like that this doesn't line up with the text like it did originally in the template, what you can do is click on here, click this button here where it will adjust the letter spacing. It also adjusts the line height, but what we want here is the letter spacing. So we can extend it so that it meets the end of your YouTube channel name. Now, I'm also going to bring these up a little bit because I don't want to potentially have them not fit in the kind of viewable area. And I want this space to be a bit smaller too. So right now, these two bits of text are grouped together. So we're going to ungroup them so that we can now interact with them separately. And so I'm just going to select the 24/7 and move it down a bit. And now this is all kind of a bit closer together. And I just want to make sure that it's centered vertically there. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So what we can do here, now the pink does work because there's a bit of pink on the controller as well as here, but we can certainly change the colors. So if you select this image here, you'll see at the top that you can change the color. So let's say instead of pink, we wanted, I don't know, a purple color. We could certainly do that and then make all of the pink colors match the purple. Here, for example, we've got the live gaming. Click on the text color and hit that purple again. You'll also want to change the little icons to purple too, or whatever your main color ends up being. So to do that, click on the little icon and go ahead and change the color. Now that is a lot of purple. So what you can do, maybe, you might want to change this to the yellow to match the controller. So that teal matches the controller and stands out a bit more than the yellow does. This may not be the final product, but it's just an example to show you how customizable these templates really are. You can do quite a bit with them, which is awesome. You can also change the background color. Simply click on the background, kind of anywhere in this large space here, and click on the background color in the top left corner. From there, you can click on different colors to see what they look like. And of course, you want to be mindful of the font and icon colors that are sitting on top of the background. You can also put a background image behind all of your text. So again, if we head back to the photos and we search, video games, let's say, we can drag and drop some of these images onto our background. So for example, if we drag and drop this one, which I know it's a bit weird, they're obviously on PC, but still, just for an example. And if you double click on the image, you can simply drag it around depending on what you want to be seen. And when you're done, hit the done button. And what I'm going to do is make it a little blurry because really it's just a background image. And because on YouTube, you'll only see kind of this area here. It doesn't need to be in focus. So I'll click on it, which it's already selected, and head on up to adjust. And there's a blur setting here that we can adjust. So it's kind of cool because it still has the colors, but you don't see every little detail. We can also adjust the brightness so that the text is easier to read. So if you're happy with the channel art and you're ready to go ahead and use it, simply click on the download button in the top right-hand corner. And from here, by default, it will be a PNG file, which is completely fine. YouTube does accept PNGs and JPEGs as well. And under Select Pages, go ahead and select whichever one that it is that you've decided to use. So let's say we want to use this gaming one. We'll click on page 2 and hit Done, followed by Download. And once you've downloaded your image, you can go ahead on over to your YouTube channel and upload it. So from your Creator Studio, go on over to Customization on the left-hand side and click on the Branding tab. From there, you'll be able to test out your new channel art to make sure that it fits in this little area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Change and then select the new image. And as you can see, this is where it gets a bit tricky. If we select this, we hit Done, you'll notice here that it's going to look okay on a larger computer, a laptop, but on a phone, it's going to be hard to read everything. So what we're going to have to do is move some of this into the center. Now that kind of ruins the little graphic that we want to use, but you will still be able to see it if you're using a larger device. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and move it over. And then I'm going to grab all of this and make sure that it's in the center. So because there's extra space here, it's going to throw off the centering ability that Canva has. So for example, if I center it in the middle of the page and we look at it, it's closer to the left hand than it is the right. Because it has this extra space here, Canva counts that as the full width of the text. So you're going to want to make it as small as you can. Same with this one. And this one's fine. And then again, we're going to select them all and center it. So this would be the center. I'm also going to change this because looking at it in YouTube, it didn't pop enough. So let's make this all white. And then hopefully that'll stand out a bit more. So let's go back again and download it. And once we've downloaded it, we'll head on back to YouTube and try again. And this time, you'll see that all of the important information is right in the center of the viewable on all devices section. You can see a little bit of the controller. Now you could go back to Canva and just, forget about the controller and remove it, but it's not a huge deal. You could move it over to the left a little bit if you want, but it's completely up to you. So if we hit Done, you'll see now that all of that important information and text is viewable and centered on all 3 devices. So we'll go ahead and give that other one a try as well. And for this one, because it had less in it, like we didn't have the controller or anything like that, it was a lot easier to just make sure that it fit in the space here. And that is what that one would look like. Plain and simple, you can view it on any device and you're good to go. All right, so that's it. You now have an incredibly easy and fast way to create YouTube channel art.